everyone. I'm at my friend's house, so we're recording this on this beautiful sunshiny day. You're gonna hear some kids in the background. Don't worry. That's my kids and my friend's kids. They're in the pool enjoying the sunshine. It's hot outside today. We're in here with the AC. They're outside with the heat. But there's just a topic that I wanted to kind of just share from my heart. And I really want to speak to those that call themselves, of which I do as well, Christians or followers of Christ or believers. I want to speak to our community for a moment. And, you know, one of the things that I believe is dear to the heart of the Father and should be dear to our own hearts. And I want to speak for a moment on Christianity in the world. And what is that supposed to look like? Three main things that I like for us to kind of touch on for a moment that I believe is dear to the Father, and it should be dear to us as well. And the first thing is this: we are living in the world, and we're called to embrace the world that we're living in. We are called to embrace the people of the world that we're living in. We're not called to stiff-arm people. We're not called to run from the world. We're called to love the world. I love what John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son." We are to do the same, love the world. How does that look? It means that we're not judging them. It means that we're not critical of people that are different from us. It means that we're not judgmental of people that think different from us, that even vote different. Everyone is going to vote different, even in the body of Christ, even among Christians. You're going to find different spectrums of that. And we're not called to judge them. We're not called to stiff arm and be critical of individuals because they are different from us. Listen, we're called to be light and salt in the world that we're in. You cannot impact the world that you refuse to engage. And so I want us to be encouraged to engage the world. Engage the world with what? Engage the world with embrace. Engage the world with acceptance. Accepting the world doesn't mean that we accept what they do. It doesn't mean that we accept the things that they do. It means that we accept the individuals. Just like your own children, there are things that they do that you don't accept, but you're not going to disown your child. You're going to love that child. You're going to embrace that child. You're going to still engage that child with warmth and kindness and all of that, even though you don't accept everything that that child does. We ought to do the same. All right. So that's point number one. The next thing is I want us to be careful not to turn our nose up on people. When we see people that are different from us, they may look different in their clothing choices, how they look, their attire, how they dress. They may be tatted from head to toe. They may have piercings in places you did not know existed. But we are still to love and embrace those individuals. I think we're so quick to be critical of people that are different from us or look different from us, that it's a turnoff. It really is. What I loved about Jesus, he embraced everybody. The woman, remember the woman, the Samaritan woman who had 5 husbands, and the man that she was with now was not even her husband? Jesus didn't stiff arm her. Matter of fact, he made himself available to her. When all the disciples were being so critical when they saw him speaking to this woman, not Jesus, he embraced this woman. And we ought to do the same. I love that Jesus hung out with tax collectors and Samaritans and prostitutes and all of that. No, it wasn't to leave them in that place. It was to lead them from that place. But guess what? He didn't allow their lifestyle choices to turn him away from them. We ought to do the same. Embrace people regardless of their lifestyle choices. Embrace people regardless of how they look. Just embrace people. I remember where I was when God first caught me. I was so lost. I was in a pit that was so deep, I didn't even know how I was going to get out. I remember being on a train station in high school, in the train, riding on, I think it was the number 6 line. Isn't that a J-Lo song? But anyway, the number 6 line. I remember a lady being on the train, and she came up to me and she was witnessing to me and telling me that God had a plan for my life. And I said to that lady, and I quote, I said, if God's plan for my life involves me giving up things in my life, because that's what the enemy tries to convince us of, that being a believer means you got to give up everything. He doesn't want you to know that when you give up, it's because God got something so much better to give you, right? So I was so caught up in the fact that I had to give up stuff. And I asked this lady, does it mean I got to give up certain stuff that I'm doing? She said, I don't know what you have to give up, darling. She said, but I know this. When you start following Christ and he grabs a hold of of your life, there's certain things that you're doing right now that you're not even going to want to do. Let God bring that person to the place that he wants them to be. Stop trying to change people and transform people into who you want them to be. Just love people, accept people, be warm and compassionate, and show kindness to people even when they're different from you. And then number 3, guys, we can't do this without love. We've got to go back to the place, I speak to myself as well, where we just love people unconditionally. We're not looking for anything in a return. There are no strings attached. It doesn't mean that you got to come and conform to the way I am. It doesn't mean that you got to come and dress like me. Look, you don't even have to come to the same church that I go to. It's okay. We can have different taste in music, but guess what? I'm going to love you. Romans 13 verse 8 says, "Owe a man nothing but to love him." We've got to go back to the place where we love people. Matter of fact, you know how people are going to know that you're a believer? Jesus says, by the love that you have for others. We have got to love. And listen, let's not use our social media platforms to spew hate. Why not use your sphere of influence and the platform that you have to spew love, to spew encouragement, to build up and not tear down? It's like every time someone posts something on social media, someone got to have a word of using 140 characters to tear down someone else. What is that? That's not, and for the Christians that use that, you may know scripture, but you don't know the God of the scripture. Because the God of the scripture is a God of love. He's not using his platform to tear people down. You know what he uses his platform for? To deliver people. God uses his platform to set people free. He's not using it to keep someone bound with hate or with judgmental criticism and all that. No, Jesus, yes, he spoke to people where they were, but he also told them, now go and leave your life of sin, but only after he embraced them with love. We've got to go back to the place, people of God, where we're shining God's love, because people will not want to know your God if the person that's sharing about that God is spewing nothing but hate and judgment and criticisms. So come on, let's live the scriptures that we say we know. Listen, I don't really, all this knowledge of, oh, I know this verse and I know that verse and I could quote all these verses and all that. Do me a favor, quote and live this verse. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It is not boastful. It is not arrogant. Love is not rude. It does not insist on its own way. It's not irritable. It's not resentful. Love does not rejoice when they see other people fall. It rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love never fails. That is the kind of love that God has placed us in this world to display. That starts with me. That starts with all of us. So I want to encourage us this week. Let's walk and live out the love that we quote scriptures about. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.